Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day 4 of literally printing money as others panic and implode. Folks, my name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz. You better be joining me at 1:30 this afternoon, Thursday, February 27th at 1:30. I'm doing an emergency live trade brief. We just knocked out our weekly debrief with my members this morning at 10 a.m. You ready for this? $363,000 this week. You heard me. $363,000 this week. Hell, Mike Nicholson, this was from yesterday, a screenshot, up $110,000. Jeff T, I'm almost up 100 grand already today. Ladies and gentlemen, there is our accelerated retirement portfolio, up $89-ish thousand. I just literally took all of these screenshots. Primary live trade brief is up $40,000. Solo Amazon, $32,000. This is the weekly debrief portfolio. What's that? $29,000. And weekly options, $175,000. We made 130 grand this week, folks, trading the S&P 500. Absolutely epic. And you ready for this? Look at that. We're sitting right where I said the market is not going to spend any time between these two moving averages. When you hit a moving average with airspeed to the up or to the downside, in this case to the downside, it's look out below. There was a half a second today where the market maybe looked, no. And yesterday, no. And the day, no. Every one of these, quote, rips, I'm not even going to call them rips, any little bit of a green this week, I've sold the hell out of it with both hands. Where did I predict we're going to hit? Right there at the 200-day moving average. Now, we went through it today. We're kind of like a kid in the deep end who doesn't know how to swim, man, kind of putting her feet down to see where the bottom – there ain't no bottom, folks. So this is the make or break moment. Dow's down, 700 points as I'm speaking to you right now. If we close below this 200-day moving average, it is look out below. And we are going to continue printing money here at Top Gun Options. And we only have a limited number of slots, folks. It's not comical. It's kind of sad that my email inbox is full, my phone, our support. Everybody wants to get into full throttle, folks. Well, where you been? So we've been making money in every market condition, and now that everything's imploding, people are like, well, guess what? Full throttle is closed. The only thing we'll give you access to is our two, guess what? Our two services, weekly options and primary live trade brief. What was that? 175 grand this week, and this was 40. So over $200,000 in these two services this week. So yeah, you'll only get access to that. If you want to grab them right now, man, go topgunoptions.com/joint. $195, and most likely those prices are going to go up. Am I going to price gouge in a time of panic? You can bet your ass I am. These prices will most likely increase. So, but I usually lock people in, guys. I don't think we've had if you are an annual member, you pay that annual fee. But our monthly fees are most likely going to go up. You pay for performance, folks, and we are printing money as other people are going out of business. Go topgunoptions.com/brief. Make sure you register for this live brief in an hour and a half, even if you can't attend, because I'm going to send out the replay and show you the trades that we cover and everything that we do. This time last week, I briefed members about this story in the Wall Street Journal. The market's real worry is lack of worry. Last Thursday, the VIX was where? It was down, plumbing the teens, guys. What did Uncle Wiz say last Thursday morning right there? I said, get long volatility and buy it with both hands. The next day, it never looked back. Up 153% the VIX. This was last Tuesday. Once you become a member, you can go watch the replay. We nailed it. Now let's get into what's going on. Let me just say this up front. The press conference last night was an abortion. It was an absolute failure. When Donald Trump is telling the truth and he's in his element and, shucking and jiving and, he's on fire. When he's not on the prompter and he has to lie, he looks like shit. That looked like a dude that hasn't been sleeping in a while, and that looked like a dude that what? Was lying through his teeth. Breaking news. Japan and China have closed. Do you know how big China is, folks? You know how big Japan is? Their schools are closed. And about 3 minutes ago, a buzz on my cell phone, Spain has closed their schools until April, folks. You don't think this is going to happen here? You're nuts. What happens when New York City is on lockdown or they close the New York City school system? My kids can't be at home. I work for a living. Childcare. It's going to be insanity. Costco. Sent the wife to Costco the other day. Costco sells out of emergency food kits online amidst coronavirus outbreak. Yep. Last night was awful. Hey, how about this? COVID-19 infects the Iranian vice president and killed the Iranian ambassador to the Vatican. He's dead. Did you see what Papa did? The Pope, God bless him because he needs it. The Pope met with coronavirus victims and then went and did mass and shook hands with everybody. You see the picture of the Pope? He's coughing, he's sniffling, and rubbing his eyes. My God, I hope the Pope doesn't have coronavirus. The dude ain't a spring chicken. Google it. Look at the story. The Pope met with coronavirus victims and then went and did mass and shook hands. What are you, stupid? I reported this 2 months ago, folks. And again, I'm not taking a victory lap because me taking a victory lap right now means people are dying and people are suffering. But guess what? I'd rather be up $363,000 this week than broke. Coronavirus, far more likely than SARS to bond to human cells due to HIV-like mutation. 2 months ago, I told you that the Wuhan Level 4 lab was playing with this coronavirus and trying to make it super virus by putting an HIV strain in it. 2 months ago, Facebook was going to ban me for fake news, and here we are 2 months later. Folks, one of the benefits you get here at Top Gun Options is the fact that I got a pretty big Rolodex, man. Dudes in the Pentagon, dudes on joint staffs overseas, guys in the CDC, guys in the Fed, guys on Wall Street, London, New York, Chicago. Why are world governments freaking the hell out if this is just like the flu? Because they know what this thing is. The reporters in last night's brief failed miserably. Mr. President, there are reports that this is a biological weapon that was accidentally released by China. Your comments. Mr. President, you excoriated Barack Hussein Obama for letting people back into this country with Ebola for treatment. Why did you let people back into this country with coronavirus? Guess what? He didn't know. You ready for this, jackwad? I love this guy's name. Ian G. Brownlee, the Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary for Booger Eating, overruled the President of the United States and let these infected people back into the country. You do know that in San Diego, the CDC screwed up. A lady was positive. They said she was negative, walked around San Diego, went back to quarantine, and oops, no, actually she is infected. One of the reasons that the market also took it, as the speech was going on last night, I sat there watching the futures. I'm like, Mr. President, stop talking. He looked like an idiot, blaming the Fed for the market crash and also blaming Bernie Sanders. What? It was a disgraceful press conference. But you got to give the president credit. He pulled a Xi Jinping last night. Have you seen Xi Jinping? He disappeared for a week and a half, appeared for a brief visit to a hospital, and you haven't seen that dude again. Guess who's out in China, like leading, the front line of this fight? His XO, his number 2 in China. You know why? Because if they do defeat this thing, Xi can take credit. And if it doesn't and it gets worse, that dude's going to be executed. Look at Mike Pence. If this thing goes away or doesn't explode in America, Trump's a hero. If not, the Fed, Bernie Sanders, and Mike Pence are all thrown under the bus. China tightens screening of travelers. Well, that's good, Wiz. They shouldn't be letting people leave that are infected. No, people coming in. They're actually not letting people back into China, folks, because they don't want reinfection. What? Yeah. Brazil. I told you 2 weeks ago that a little birdie got a contact down in Brazil. Actually, not, well, she dated the Brazilian finance minister, the current finance minister, for about 13 years. I guess you could say engaged. I told you last week they have 20 cases. Yesterday, February 26th at 10:02, Brazil reports its first confirmed case. I know they have more than that, and they're lying. The EWZ, the Brazilian ETF, is imploding. We have a burner trade in one of our portfolios that's up 15 grand this week. In what, 2 days? We did that Tuesday. In 2 days, we made 15 grand on limited risk. I think it was like $4,000 in risk to make 15 grand. Look at a chart of this ETF. And it's going lower. Hey, how about the lady calling like Chicken Little the other day on the stage? This is why the president did a news conference last night, because the day before the CDC press conference, this lady, I sat my kids down. They're not going to be going to school. Panic, panic, panic. That lady on the stage the other day is Rod Rosenstein's sister. You know who Rod Rosenstein is? Essentially helped Trump fire Jim Comey, and also was maybe setting up the president to be removed from office because of the 25th Amendment. This dirty slimeball snake of the swamp. You know what he is right now? He's a rat, and I applaud him for it. Apparently, one of my little birdies one of my little birdies said they flipped him. And they're going after Comey and Brennan. Thank God. But anyway, isn't this a little weird, folks, that the CDC official that was hitting the panic button the other day is Rosenstein's sister? That's why Trump had to go out last night and kind of do the whole, hey, man, everybody just throttle back here. Out of stock, coronavirus in China threatens Amazon sellers. You can't buy masks. You can't do this. I also saw that 3M is like recalling like defected masks or something like that. By the way, folks, the masks don't work. You do understand this, right? People look really stupid walking around with masks on unless you have goggles on too. It's airborne. That's what I wanted to say. Is the main reason the futures imploded last night is what? An unknown confirmed case of coronavirus in Northern California. What do you mean unknown? Meaning the dude didn't have contact with anybody. They don't know how he got it. So it's a little hard to trace where he got it from and who he's. So I saw scrolling across the bottom of the TV a couple minutes ago, 2,000 people in Massachusetts under, quote, self-quarantine, 8,000 in California, self-quarantine. So again, I don't hate. And here's the journal today. The invisible forces exacerbating these market swings. Derivatives positioning added to the stock swoon. So let me get this straight. Options traders bad. I love this. $2 trillion in equity wiped out of this market, and I got my piece of it. And Top Gun Options members have their piece as well, man. So I love it. Oh, options traders are doing this. Really? There's a pandemic racing around the world. The Pope might have it. The president of China might have it. A little birdie told me that the dear leader of North Korea has it. Anybody seen Kim in months? They steal people from China, Japan, and South Korea, folks. You know that, right? They kidnap women to be in his harem. What if the dear leader of North Korea has it and goes nuts or nuttier? Folks, you have got to be hedged. Now, all of these bearish trade, we actually had bullish positions on this week. 3 bullish positions that printed money, Moderna and Gilead. I bought calls in both of those. Rip your face off rally out of Gilead. I told you last week. We put these calls on last week, and I bought more on Tuesday. Look at Gilead. Look at mRNA, Moderna. That's giving a little bit back today. Giving a little bit back today after a 89% increase. I bought more of these calls today as they started going down out to April. That's when their phase 1 trial of the vaccine might be ready for prime time. Okay. Like I said, folks, at Top Gun Options, I wear 2 suits. I wear a flight suit. I feel horrible as an American. There are people dying. There are people suffering. My God, the Pope might I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. It's horrific. However, I'm going to put on my Gordon Gekko $10,000 Armani suit right now and say, good. Fear and greed drive the market. And right now, I'm not going to lay in the corner sucking my thumb in the fetal position. I'm going to keep printing money. $363,000 in 4 days, and a day ain't over yet. Can drag you to water, can't make you drink, folks. Like I said, our full throttle, the 4 live trade briefs throughout the week are closed. And the reason I'm not opening it up to the masses is because of that. I keep a nice tight-knit squadron here, man. I'm not, let's throw 1,000 people in a trade room and charge them. I'm going to give you quality. You can get access to 2 of our live trade briefs. Weekly options, 140 grand. Or no, primary was 175. This week is 175. This is 40. So close to 200 grand in these 2 portfolios. You can get access to those. Go.topgunoptions.com/join. Okay, I got to get going. We're doing our emergency brief in an hour and a half at 1:30 Eastern. Again, if you can't attend, you got to register because you can get access to the replay. Go.topgunoptions.com/brief. Free to register, and I'll throw in a free copy of our OPCL or Options Pocket Checklist and our 7-step trade plan. Okay, have a great rest of your day. We're having a great time here, folks. Come join the winning team. If you're getting your ass kicked, you're doing it long. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see many of you at 1:30, or I'll talk to you tomorrow for Friday's market wrap-up. God bless.